you're now getting familiar with our lesson today. Basically, class. Oh wait, stop it. Okay. Basically, class, thesis statement is composed of your claim, your position, and reasons. It's very short. It must be brief, direct to the point. It is composed of one sentence, at least one sentence, and you can find these where again. Where can you find your anyone? Is James? Where can you find it? James, are you there? Let's have Kate. Where can you find your thesis statement based on the video presented? Beginning, middle,
Ma'am,
or
sa body.
body? Oh, oh yes. Any other
The last part po ng essay po.
last part of your essay? Okay, let's try to recall. Let's try to play this again. Please watch. Okay. You see it? Wait. Oh, yes. Yes.
Usually appears near the beginning of the paper.
That's correct. Very good. The beginning, mostly, usually, but not beginning of the paragraph. At the end of the sentence of that first paragraph. So that means that would be body, conclusion, or introduction. James?
Introduction.
Very good. So that is in what part? Again, in your introduction part. It it merely supports the whole details of your paragraph. It's like a topic sentence. It's like when you're reading this, you can have an overview of the entire essay, or you can have an overview background of the entire academic text. Okay. So we have another video here. Entire thesis statement yet. Thesis statement, all should study foreign languages because language learning increases vocabulary. Mary V, where here is your stand, your position again?
Agree po.
What in what part of the sentence?
Language, because language learning increase vocabulary.
Stand first, stand. Not the claim. The stand.
People should study foreign language.
Okay, good job. So the stand here is affirmative. People should study foreign languages by adding the word because and its claims. followed by its claim. But we have only one claim here. That's why it makes it a good thesis statement, but not a great thesis statement because this is not strong enough. Let's find out why. Okay, so in order for us to have a strong thesis statement, we should have how many claims or how many reasons for our claims?
Oh, ma'am.
Very
One
good.
more.
At least two reasons. Okay, so if that's the case, then we could have what? We could have a stronger thesis statement. All right. So basically, a thesis statement that summarizes your topic and declares your position on it. So a thesis statement summarizes it, and it basically means that what? That you are um, declaring your position. Without position, without your stand, then that is not a thesis statement. Next, it tells the reader how you will interpret the significance of the subject matter under your discussion. It tells how would you justify it? How would you explain it? How would you give importance to to the subject that you have? How does it matter? Number three, it is a roadmap actually. It is a roadmap for the paper. So it serves as your turning point on how will you convince your readers to to believe on your stand. In other words, it tells the reader what to expect from the rest of the paper. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What are your points? What are your solid grounds and proofs why you are disagreeing and why you don't disagree? You cannot have both. Again, in thesis statement, you cannot agree or disagree. You cannot be biased. It's only a single position. It's only a single stand. All right. It is the central idea of a multiple paragraph composition. When we say central idea, the entire essay evolves here. The entire essay evolves in your thesis statement. So you cannot beat around the bush. You cannot utter everything. You cannot say everything without your stand, without your proper claims, without your position. So it is one sentence summary that guides or controls and unifies your ideas when writing a paper. Without your thesis statement, then your paper would be vague. Your paper would be totally vague. All right? You do not have a path. You do not have direction. You are hanging your readers as to how or as to what you're believing in. Okay? Your thesis statement should tell your reader what the paper is about, and it also gives them a guide on your writing and keep your argument focused. Okay? So when you are having a thesis statement, then you're being focused. So you're focused with your stand, you're focused with your position, you're giving them straight claims, you're giving them straightforward direction and a guide to your path, a guide to your direction, a guide to what you are discussing and what do you really believe in. All right? Okay. So there are four questions to ask when formulating thesis statement. Please read number one. Hannah. Hannah?
Number one.
Okay.
Apo, ma'am. Where is your thesis statement?
All right. So number one question to ask, where is your thesis statement? Answer, you should provide a thesis early in your essay. In the what part?
That
Introduction part. All right. So you have to make sure that it is in your introduction part. Okay. Let's look at this one. So the first question that you have to ask yourself, class, is um the tips, no, the tips that you have here. Number one, you avoid burying a great thesis statement in the middle of a paragraph or late in the paper, because if that's the case, if you will try not to be clear to your readers, you will be redirecting them. You are not letting your readers be focused on your position, on your stand. So it is important, number two, to be clear and specific as possible and avoid vague words. So you have to indicate the point of your paper, but avoid sentence structures like the point of my paper is. You're not going directly to that. So what you're going to do here is you have to be clear and specific. You have to point it out in the beginning of your paragraph in your introduction part, but you are not directly saying that my point here as a reader is. You're not doing that. All right, let your reader see it. Let your reader um let them see it without directly saying it. Okay, second question is what? Okay, wait. So do you understand, class? All right.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Thank you. Let's have... Sino pa hindi ko natatawag? Okay, let's have Charles. Second question to ask.
Number 2, is your thesis statement specific?
Is your thesis statement specific? Your thesis statement should be as clear and specific as possible. So if you agree, should be legalized. If you do not agree, should not be legalized. Normally, you will continue to refine your thesis as you revise your argument. So your thesis will evolve and gain definition as you literally obtain better sense of where your argument is talking to you. So tips on how you formulate specific thesis statement. Number one, are there two large statements connected loosely by coordinating conjunctions such as and, but, or, for, nor, so, yet? So the fanboys, basically. Number two, would a subordinating conjunction help? Example, through, although, because, like what we mentioned or what we used a while ago, the word because, since, to signal a relationship between two sentences. Like for example, like what Hannah mentioned a while ago, that she wanted marijuana to be legalized, same-sex marriage to be legalized in the Philippines because it promotes gender equality and it uh it gives us a hint that love has no gender. Alright? Or the two statements imply a fuzzy and focused thesis statement or thesis. So meaning to say your two claims must support each other and must agree to one another. It should not be opposite. It should not be the one disagrees and the one does not agree. The one disagrees and the one agrees. All right. If so, settle on one single focus and then proceed with further development. Right. So that's how you do it. There must be a relation between the two. So the use of transition words and conjunctions are important. Okay. Number three question. Uh, let's have Kate.
Number 3, is your thesis statement too general?
Okay. So example, let's try to differentiate these two. Original thesis, there are serious objections to today's horror movies. That's your original thesis. Is it a good example or not? Is it a good example or not, Kate?
Maman, paulit nga po yung tanong. Ito po ba yung there are
Alright.
serious...
Example, original thesis. There are serious objections to today's horror movies. That's only the thesis statement. Is it a good example?
Hindi po, ma'am.
It's not a good example. Why? How do you say so?
Kasi po ma'am, hindi po totoong nag-i-exist. Hindi po lahat naniniwala sa
I'm
ghost.
sorry. Kate, try
Hindi
to
po siya
explain, try to express yourself in English, anak. I repeat, there are serious objections on today's horror movies. That does it make it specific? Does it make it on point? Does it make it uh, clear? Kate? Okay. For you not to be confused, let's try to differentiate it to this revised thesis. There are serious objections to today's horror movies because modern cinematic techniques have allowed filmmakers to get more graphic. Horror flicks have desensitized young American viewers to violence. Does it sound good? Does it
Yes
sound
po.
better, Kate?
Yes po.
How would you differentiate the two? Kate? Let's have Charles. How would you differentiate the two?
Ma'am, the original thesis po, it is the position of the writer po.
All right. And then the revised thesis.
Revised thesis po, it's he proved his claim po
All right.
about the serious objections to the horror
So in
movies po.
other terms, is it specific now in the revised thesis statement? Is it specific and clear now as compared to the other one?
Yes
Yes
po.
po, ma'am.
That's correct. Because the original thesis statement is too general. Serious objection to today's horror movies. It's too general. It's vague. It does not give us a hint whether the writer wants to have horror movies or he doesn't want to have it. But on the revised thesis, it's very clear that your thesis should be limited to what can be accomplished in a specific number of pages. The opposite, this one is what do you call this? It's clear, no? It's more focused. It's specific, and it has two claims that support the stand of the author, right? So that is that example. The revised thesis now is a stronger version of a thesis statement. Okay. Number 4. Please read, Daniel.
Question number 4. Is your thesis statement clear?
All right. It needs to be as clear as possible. By being as clear as possible in your thesis statement, you will make sure that your reader understands exactly what you mean. So it is important to be direct also. Your thesis statement is no exception to your writing. It needs to be as clear as possible. And you have to make sure that you will make your reader understand exactly what you mean. So, how do we do that? Unless you're writing a technical report, avoid technical language. Always avoid jargons. Unless you are confident your audience will be familiar with it. Avoid vague words such as interesting, negative, exciting, unusual, and difficult because that's hard to understand whether you agree or disagree. Avoid abstract words such as general terms such as society, values, culture. These words tell the reader next to nothing if you do not carefully explain that you mean by what you mean by them. Never assume that the meaning of a sentence is obvious. Never assume that it's too obvious to understand. Check to see if you need to define your terms. Example, some words are critically um, explained or they are not being well explained, that you may have some terms to explain it. Conventional, commercialism, society, these words may be familiar to you, but this may not be familiar to others. And then decide on the most appropriate place to do so. Do not assume, for example, that you have the same understanding of what society means as your reader. To avoid misunderstandings, be as specific as possible. So compare The original statement or original thesis statement not specific and clear enough with a revised version of much more specific. In other words, use terms that are easy to understand. All right. So what else? Um, Use your own words in thesis statement. Avoid quoting as much as possible. Crafting an original, insightful, and memorable thesis makes a distinct impression on a reader. That it's clear, it's easy, and you will lose actually credibility when you are using other people's words, all right? So plagiarism, in other words. And as a writer, if you become only a mouthpiece or a copyist, you will not gain credibility by grabbing the reader with your own ideas and words. Okay. So remember that a well-crafted thesis statement reflects well-crafted ideas. It signals a writer who has intelligence, commitment, and enthusiasm. Okay. Yeah, so use your own words. Remember that. Avoid quoting, avoid using other people's terms, other authors' words, sentences. And in doing that, you are gaining your credibility. A well crafted idea must reflect on your thesis statement. Okay, let's practice by saying true or false. Comment true if the statement supports the principle of thesis statement, and comment false, sorry, if otherwise. Number one, Charles, thesis statement is the first sentence at the beginning of each paragraph. Is it the very first sentence? I mean, the first sentence must be your thesis statement. True or false?
False po, ma'am.
Why?
Because of, ano, each paragraph po.
All
Dapat po
right.
is, thesis statement is the first sentence at the beginning of the paper po. Ganun po.
Okay. Let me clear this with you, class, that thesis statement mostly can be found in your introduction, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it should be in the very beginning of your sentence. Got it? Okay, again, it could be at the end of the sentence, but still in the introduction. It could be in the middle of the sentence, but still into introduction. But it does not mean that the first words in your introduction must be your thesis statement. So our answer here is false. Number two, Hannah. Okay, Hannah,
Aba. Number two po is true.
please read.
It makes a claim that other people may dispute, challenge, or oppose.
Correct. It makes a claim that other people may dispute, challenge, or oppose. Doesn't mean that if other people have different view or different stand as you have, then they are wrong and you're correct. All right, that's not the case here in thesis statement. In thesis statement, as a writer, as an academic writer, you have to make your position, but in giving your position, it doesn't make you correct. It doesn't make you superior from the rest of other readers. All right. Number three, please read, Danielle.
Number three, it is a roadmap for a paper. It tells the reader what the paper will focus on.
Okay, your answer, please.
True po, true. Ganun, ganun.
Yes, that's true. It is a roadmap. It gives your reader a guide. It gives your reader a direction. It gives them a hint of your position or your stand. All right, and that from there, from your stand, that is where they will focus on. Number four, let's have Kate.
It is number four. It is a simple statement of fact. True.
Mhm. It is a simple statement of fact. Do you agree? Do
True
you?
po, ma'am. Po.
How about the others? Simple statement of fact.
It is a positive.
Remember that you're giving your stand.
False, ma'am.
Okay, why false?
Because your stand maybe not the fact.
All right,
Maybe
that's true. Your stand does not guarantees I does not guarantee what? Your stand does not guarantee a fact statement. All right? So whether it's a fact or an opinion, your statement could be part of your position. All right? And lastly, let's have James.
The
James?
thesis statement should reflect the main idea of an essay. True
Mm-hmm.
po.
True, right? So it remember that it evolves. Your entire essay evolves in your thesis statement. Okay, so let's try to do this. Ito this is very interesting. This one, it is really interesting. Let's try to answer this. Okay. So this is from owl.excelsior.edu/research/thesis hyphenated or focus slash thesis hyphen or focus thesis statement activity. Okay. Wait, wait. So while waiting, let's proceed to our next activity. So for your activity, your post-assessment directions, read the following statement. Keep in mind that an effective thesis statement should be sharply focused and specific, not just a general statement of fact. And write the letter of your answer in your notebook. These should be answered by you in your notebook on pages 53 and 54 of your module. Okay? So wait. For the meantime, no share. Let me share this to you. Okay. So here's the website and we will try to wait, do this short activity. It's very easy class. So there are sentences here and what you have to do is you simply have to identify what is the strongest. Again, you simply have, there are multiple sentences here, and you have to pick the best thesis statement that you think also, which is also the strongest thesis statement for you. You understand? So I repeat, there are multiple sentences here. What you have to do is pick the best or the strongest thesis statement among the rest. Okay. Questions so far? Questions? Questions? Jane to answer my question. Anyone who would like to give me a question, and I will. Anyone question? So
you're
Si
audible.
ma'am.
dili ako.
You're audible.
Opo, ma'am.
What do you mean?
Naglalag po.
Naglalag.
Hindi po namin naiintindihan yung instruction, ma'am, kasi naglalag po yung audio.
Okay. Question so far? Just give me. Ask me any question. Do you have any questions? Questions. Charles.
Question.
Yes, Charles.
Ma'am,
Yes,
ma'am,
question.
Ma'am Daniel po.
Daniel, yes, Daniel.
Kaya ma'am?
Ay,
Hello po
hello?
ma'am.
Hello,
Okay.
Daniel.
Question, ma'am. Hi,
Oh,
hi.
yes, yes, yes.
If you, for example, the example in people should learn foreign languages. I have a learn languages.
I'm
I
sorry.
disagree to the
Daniel.
languages, foreign languages.
Daniel, would you please repeat your questions? It's a
My question
little...
po is,
Yeah. What's your question?
question ko po is,
Mm-hmm.
I disagree, but I happily disagree to the statement. For example, is the foreign languages po, the
Okay.
example. Yes po. Kasi
What, what about it?
I disagree, but I want
You disagree
I disagree, but
in learning foreign language,
foreign language,
but
yes,
okay,
but
but
if you want to learn foreign languages, you should learn English or Mandarin. Ano ba sa Tagalog?
English is a foreign language.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh yeah.
What? But the statement said
Ah,
foreign
okay.
languages
All
are
right.
being specific about the English. You don't have to learn foreign languages, all of the languages in the foreign land, but you should
I see.
learn English and foreign.
Just simply remove the S and make it more specific. For example, students should learn foreign language like English, or students should learn English as a foreign language. That's it. If you're only specifying English as a foreign language and you do not want to study all other foreign languages. Am I? Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Hello, class.
Hello, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes
Daniel,
po.
did I get your point? Did I get it correctly?
Opo, ma'am.
Okay, I
Tanong ko lang
see.
po,
Oh, yes.
question, is countable, kasama po ba yun verified po ba yun as a statement po? Sa thesis statement po? Kung ganun po yung magiging
Yeah.
disagreement.
Yeah, but what you have to remember in doing this statement is whether you agree or disagree, it should be clear. It should not confuse your readers. Do not give them two opposite stands. All right. So what you have to do is clarify it. Okay. So with that, okay, thank you. So this is now the activity. Can you see it now? Try this activity to check your knowledge of thesis statements. The typewriter one. Can you view it? Can you see it now?
Yes.
Oh
Yes po.
yeah, that's great. Okay, let's start with the first question. Choose the strongest thesis statement based on the topic idea provided. Please read and answer number one. Hannah. Okay, before you answer, before you answer, class, remember that a thesis statement is composed of two parts. Number one is your position. Number two, your claims. Number one, position, whether it is an indirect way of saying you believe or you disagree or agree, and then followed by conjunction, because, but, therefore, and so on, and then the reasons. So in order for you to identify it correctly, you have to know what is the strongest. It must have two supporting claims, and it is not only it should not have two stands. One stand to at least two claims. All right. Longer sentences do not guarantee correct answer. Remember that. Okay, let's start, Hannah. Please read all the 4 sentences and choose your answer. Hannah?
Number one choices. Teachers have the important job of educating our children and should be paid higher wages to reflect the importance of this task.
Okay.
Number two, teachers make less money than most people think.
Okay.
Number three, this paper will explore reason why teachers across the country should be paid higher wages. Number
Okay.
four, I think teachers are hard workers.
Okay. What's your answer? A, B, C, or D? First, second, third,
I
fourth.
think letter C po.
Letter C. Let's check if it's correct. Oh, it
Ah,
has a red mark. The answer is the first one. Teachers have important job of educating our children and should be paid higher wages to reflect the importance of the task. Why? Hannah chose this paper will the third one. This paper will explore reasons why teachers across the country should be paid higher wages. Why? It only gives us it is correct, but it is not strong enough. Okay. You did your best, but your best wasn't good enough, Hannah. All right. Thank you for trying, Hannah. Let's try another one. Okay? Another one. Let's have Charles. Are you there na? Charles.
So, ma'am,
Okay, go. Read an answer.
based on topic choice of vegetarian diets, which thesis would be the strongest?
Mm-hmm.
Number one, it is not right for so many people to eat so much meat.
Mm-hmm.
Vegetarians live longer lives. This essay is about the reason why you should consider a healthier vegetarian diet. Letter D, a well-balanced vegetarian diet provides significant health benefits and Americans could benefit from becoming vegetarians.
Okay, what's your answer, Charles?
Let
Charles?
number 2 po,
Sorry?
yung vegetarian lives longer lives.
What
Then ano po?
First, second, third, or fourth?
Second po.
A second. Okay, let's see. Check. Oh. Let's try again. How about the others? Kate, what do you think is the answer here?
Ma'am.
Letter?
C po.
Letter C? Let's try. Letter C? It's not also correct.
How about D?
Ma'am,
Yes, Maribik?
the well-balanced vegetarian.
Alright, let's
The
try.
well-balanced.
Alright, that's correct. A well-balanced vegetarian diet provides significant health benefits and Americans could benefit from becoming vegetarians. What is the stand? May I know, Marivic, where's the stand here? The position of the writer, sorry.
Agree po, ma'am.
A well-balanced vegetarian diet provides significant health benefits, right?
Yes,
Alright.
agree po siya, ma'am.
Affirmative. And where are the two? I'm sorry. A well-balanced vegetarian diet provides significant health benefits. Yes, that it gives us vegetarian diet gives us health benefits. That's one. And the other one, Americans could also benefit from becoming vegetarian.
Vegetarians.
Correct. All right. How about James? This one. James.
Based on a topic of childhood obesity, which thesis statement would be the strongest?
Okay, what's the strongest
One,
statement?
I know a lot of parents who are really struggling with the issue of childhood obesity. Two, the
Mm-hmm.
percentage of children in the United States who are obese increased from 7% in 1980
Mm-hmm.
to nearly 20% in 2008.
Mm-hmm.
See, with the number of children with obesity on the rise in the US, parents need to be better educated about the causes of childhood obesity.
Okay.
B. There are many solutions to the problem of child obesity.
Okay. Charles, longer statement does not guarantee that it's the strongest one. You choose your answer now.
Um, ano po, the percentage of children in the United
Oh,
States.
are you sure? Are you sure? James?
Um,
James?
yes po, yes po.
Okay, let's try. Oh, it's incorrect. Who would like to try it again? Kate. James, who else? Charles?
Ma'am,
Daniel? Yes.
ano
Daniel?
po?
Is it Daniel?
Charles
Yes.
po,
Ah,
Charles.
Charles, Charles. Go, Charles. Go, Charles. What's your answer?
Letter C po, ma'am.
Letter C.
With the number of children with obesity.
Okay, let's try. Okay, it's correct, Charles. A star for you. With the number of children with obesity on the rise in the US, parents need to be better educated about the causes of childhood obesity. All right? So it's an affirmative and it gives us a strong claim. Okay. Last question is for, let's have, uh-huh, Kate. Kate again. Kate. Last question for Kate.
Based on the topic of minimum, ay na po ba agad, ma'am?
Yeah, yeah,
This
yeah. Go ahead.
this paper will be explore many issues related to minimum wage in the United States, such as the way an increased minimum wage will impact individuals, businesses, and overall economy.
Mm-hmm.
After after much research, I have concluded that minimum wage in the United States must be raised.
Must be
Polls
raised.
show,
Okay. Pulse. Okay, Paul.
polls show that most Americans would like to see the minimum wage in the United States raised.
Mm-hmm.
The minimum wage is the United States should be raised to living wage, as doing so will benefit individuals, business, and the overall economy.
What's your answer, Kemeno?
Di po, ma'am.
Last one? Okay. Why the last one? Why do you think it's the last one? Do you think it's the strongest claim, strongest thesis statement above all?
Opo, ma'am. Raise to a live wage po, ma'am. Living wage.
Okay. And then claims individuals will benefit, businesses, and the overall economy, right?
Opo, ma'am.
Okay, let's try. Correct. That's a great job for you, Kate. Thank you so much. If you do not have more questions, oh, that's our score for today. Questions, please. If you do not have questions, let's have Daniel to give us the final takeaway from this lesson. What's your final verdict, your final statement, and the totality of the learnings that you have today? Daniel? Daniel?
Ah, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Ah, yes. What's your assessment for this topic? What's your final takeaway? Daniel, would you share your thoughts, please?
My final takeaway is the identifying the topics, the
Okay.
what you call it, the topic that most appropriate in in the in the claims. Now, then the four questions when formulating the thesis.
Okay.
Where is thesis statement? Is your thesis statement specific? Is your thesis statement too general? No, is your thesis statement clear? That is my takeaway, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. And for our objectives, we'll go back to our goals. First goal, did we define the thesis statement? Yes or no, class?
Yes,
Yes.
Oh,
That's
ma'am.
correct. Number two, did you identify various techniques in locating thesis statement?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yes. And number
Um,
3, did you formulate your thesis statement of the text?
Yes po.
Yes.
Okay. So for your final activity, I repeat, you have to answer the post-assessment part in your module, pages 53 and 54. If there's no more questions, thank you for having me today. Thank you, class, and we'll see you again next meeting. I'll see you again next meeting. Goodbye and thank you. Bye-bye.
thank you po,
Thank
ma'am.
you po.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
There we have it. In behalf of Vibal Group Incorporated, I would like to thank our speaker for today for this very interactive and insightful demo teaching session. It is an honor to have you with us today, ma'am. And to all our Kavibal viewers, all thanks to you for your continuous patronage to our daily learning session. Don't forget to register to get your e-certificate of participation. We also encourage you to subscribe and watch on our official Vival Facebook and YouTube channel. Don't forget our special Facebook Live learning tomorrow. Tune in to our Facebook page in Vibal Group. Muli, maraming salamat at magandang araw sa ating